All right. What's good, YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. And today's video, we're talking about my man LaMelo Ball, his recent interview with Slam Hoops, where he really shed some light on his current situation with the Charlotte Hornets and really let us in on his personal perspective on that. What I want to do is talk about, is his perspective in line with the perspective that we've been looking at it at, or are we way off? Let's get into it.
AB the Hero, back at it, baby.
First things first, appreciate everyone for getting physical, the like button and really knocking that thing, turning it blue. I want to show y'all this first. Hey, we just copped this, man. Just got this in the mail. LaMelo NBA All-Star jersey. I'm hype about it. I think an extra large. Your main man, the streets keep trying to tell me that I'm a double XL, but we finna get into the extra large. I promise, man. I gotta do better. I gotta do better. Let's get into this now. We're gonna talk about this article here, and this article is long. They cover so much. There's quotes from LeVar in here, quotes from LaMelo. They ask some questions about things that happened in the past, pre-draft, his process, all of these different things. So much to learn from, so much more to learn from LaMelo, and it's interesting because this is kid who we've watched grow up in front of us. So you think you know it all, and then there's story after story and story that come out that's like, man, it's a little bit more insight on why my man is the way he is. Now, I want to talk about two things. And to me, there's some synergy in these two things, even though they may not seem totally related. When I look at this picture here, this cover shot of LaMelo, I think it's dope. First off, it's dope. I just copped this here not too long ago. This is dope here too. I got a bunch of NBA Hoops cards, and this was in there, so that's fire, right? It's the same. It's like the past Slam cover. So I'm like, okay, this, I see what y'all doing here. Hopefully we get that card at some other time. But what I think is even doper about this article, and this cover than this one in itself, is I was looking at my guy LaMelo, and he's rocking his own signature shoes in this, the Puma Hoops MB01 Fire. I love that colorway. But then we look a little closer and we see my dog is also rocking his own signature brand, La France. And when we talk about folks who one-on-one, right? One-on-one, rare, they don't do it like I do it. You can't follow the footsteps. We understand a little bit more about LaMelo and the savviness that he has when you look at this cover, right? Now, you could take any other athlete and you could throw them on this cover, and the shoes might be signature shoes from whatever company, and then oftentimes the outfit is the same outfit from that company, right? But what LaMelo is so dope is that in the details, in the business agreement, there had to be something that says, yo, y'all can do the hoops, you could do the sweatsuits, you could do all of that NBO1 stuff, Puma Hoops, but I need to be able to create, manufacture, and rock my own brand, La France. And what better way to really give light to not only your partnerships and collaborations with these corporate entities, Puma Hoops, but also understand and lift up your own sole proprietorship, La France, and your own business. To me, I think that what makes him rare, one of one, is the ability to do both. The ability to have the foresight to say, yes, we can do the shoes. It's also foresight, but it's also cachet and the presence to be able to do that and say, but I also need to have my own signature brand that's separate than that, and I'm going to do that. And every time you see me, I might have some Puma Hoops on, but I'm probably going to have some La France on too. To me, that's a big moment in this article just off the jump. Now, Like I said, they talk about a ton in this article. If there's pieces to this article that you want us to do a video about, I'm probably going to double back with some things that I want to talk about as well. But make a comment and say, yo, can you talk about that one part? And we'll come back and we'll do a video about that. But what I want to do is scroll down here to these last couple paragraphs, because I think that these two speak to what's happening with the current situation in the Charlotte Hornets. And I'd like to give my 2 cents on that, because this is something that we've been talking about for a while. Now, it says, when they really put the keys in my hand, I feel like it's going to be a whole new situation. But until then, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do. Just try to get these wins, says LaMelo. Now, this is important to me, because a couple days ago I was on Flight Sports TV. I think Ball Facts was in the panel. Dex, there's a lot of folks, right? The Coffee, there's a lot of people in the Ballerverse in the panel having the conversation. And Ball Facts said something poignant, right? He talked about a conversation that he had recently had with LiAngelo Ball, and LiAngelo said that the Charlotte, the Greensboro Swarm wants him to stand in the corner, stretch the floor, and be a shooter, right? Not too much cutting to the basket, not too much doing all that extra stuff. We want you to stretch the floor. Everybody knows that you can shoot it and you will shoot it. And if you stand out here, you'll create space for other guys to get to the basket. And that's what we want you to do, all right? And the reality from LiAngelo was like, if I want to continue to play, I got to do it. And I hear those same sentiments echo from LaMelo here, where he says, it feels like if they give me a chance, if they really give me the keys, if they really let me do me, this whole thing will change, right? We did a video a while back when we heard Miles Bridges just say LaMelo's presence on this team has already changed the dynamic of what's going on. And LaMelo saying, if they really let me put my fingerprints on it, if they really give me the keychain with all of the keys on it, and let me open up doors, let me start the engine, let me rev that thing, the whole entire situation will change, right? Not just pieces of it, not just the atmosphere and how you feel when you come into the arena, like Miles Bridges talked about, not just the fan base, not just these things, but the whole thing will change. The culture, the expectations of what people expect from this franchise will change. I talked about this before, where we talk about how some of the disconnect between folks who really rock with LaMelo and some of the folks who really been just Hornets fans for a while is the expectations. We all expect LaMelo to be, you know what I'm saying, top tier, all-star, one-on-one, rare, all of these different things. We've seen some of the stat line and the things that he's done, winning high school championships, JBA championships, playing overseas, rookie of the year, all of these things. And we expect to see that from this Hornets franchise, where a lot of times, if you are a fan of the Hornets, or you're a fan of an NBA franchise, sometimes it's just dope to make the playoffs, right? Sometimes it's just dope to have an extra couple more wins than you had the season before. And my man, and he gets into that here in a second, but I want to get to this next line. He said, I ain't gonna lie. Every game, I feel like I can do more than what I'm doing. It's just about reading the whole game, reading the whole game, reading the whole situation, and everybody being on the same page, consistency part. Once all that clears, I feel like we'll be straight. Now, this part about reading the whole game, reading the situation, this is a sentiment that we've heard echoed from the front office, Mitch Kupchak, James Borrego. We've heard Isaiah Thomas talk about that's the part of the game that he's helping LaMelo understand, and that wisdom that he's providing through his own leadership and his time with the team. And so we understand where this is coming from, right? And he's saying, like, you know, they're telling me, this is what I interpret, is that you will have the keys once you understand these small nuanced things, right? And then once that happens, we'll all be on the same page and we can work to a level of consistency, right? Once that all clears up, they'll be straight. I think that that's what it's saying. I don't I think it's an interesting take because to me, I feel like the way that you understand the whole game or the way that you understand how to read certain situations is through being a part of it, actually gaining that experience. So some of the stuff that I do, I talk about this all the time, is I do like the video editing and all of this stuff, right? And so what I notice sometimes is, let's say there might be a script that somebody's reading, or there's this whole like paragraph or a thought process that somebody needs to get out. And what'll happen is, the intro, they'll get stuck on the intro and they'll do 1 take of the intro, 2 takes of the intro, 3 takes of the intro, and you never ever even get to the meat of it. You never get to the closing. So by the time you finally got the intro, you done took 20 takes, you now trying to do the body of the meat of what you're saying, and now it's a whole new setup. You got to go through 30 takes of that, 30 takes of this. You ain't never did it 2 hours in and you just starting to. And so the reality is, I always tell people, let's just work the whole thing through, right? Yeah, you messed up here, keep pushing through it, and let's get a feel of how the entire thing flows. And then we'll know if we need to really spend some time and hone in on these certain sections, right? And so I think that that's where they fumble the ball sometimes with LaMelo, is you start pulling people out during these certain sections before you let them vibe the whole thing, right? Experience the whole thing, run it. You got to get the experience from the top to the bottom, and then we'll say, you know, we need to work on this part of the game. We need to work on this part of the game. We need to work on this part of the game. And sometimes they don't do that. All right. Now, my man says here, and this is kind of what we referenced a little bit earlier, the season isn't successful until you win a championship, but it's also pretty much always about being better than last year, all right? And so this is what I was saying, is that I think that from what we know about LaMelo and what we've heard from Lonzo, LeVar, and all of them, it's about winning. Right? We want to win a championship. That's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate success. However, sometimes when you've been a part of a fan base that is never really in contention to win said championship, it is sometimes just simply about being better than last year. Did we improve or not? Did we make the playoffs? Shoot, instead of being the 12th seed, did we make it to the 11th? Did we make it to 10th? That's the ways that folks find success. Did we have one guy become an all-star? What are the small takeaways that we can get that count to success? Sometimes that is what people see in certain fan bases and things. But is that what my man LaMelo is looking for? Not so much. My man is saying we want that championship. So, but the reality is he kind of continues and goes here. So last year we were in the play-in. This year, hopefully we get into the playoffs, win the first round, something like that. Just keep going from there. I just feel like we're one big away, one that can clog up the whole paint, rebound, put that thing in my hands, and let me rock. That's how I'll be feeling, and then we're going to be straight. Here's something that I also realized from this like quote here is, my man says this year, hopefully we make the playoffs, right? And I can tell from listening to LaMelo talk oftentimes is that the reason why there's a hopefully here is because he does not feel like the majority of what's happened is actually in his hands, right? So this is not something that he can say, this year we make the playoffs, because it's not something that 1,000% is in his own control, right? That's what I think I'm seeing here from just that one word, hopefully, right? When I hear him up here talk about if they put the keys in my hand, I feel like this is what we can have. And then when I hear him give expectations for the season, I can see where the disconnect between what we normally would want from LaMelo and what he is saying, like, this is all I can promise. Hopefully we can do it. Once they put the keys in my hand, we're going to be straight. Once they get a big dude who can clog the paint, rebound, and give me the rock, then we'll be straight. But until then, hopefully we make the playoffs. And this is to tie it all back into the beginning, right? Kind of what I was saying and what I realized between what you're seeing here and what you're, seeing consistently from LaMelo when he talks a lot about, you know what I mean, ownership, right? It's a similar thing where my man is a part of this organization. Yo, Hornets, we're consistently going to at least try to be better, right? But for me personally, I'm looking to win championships. But can I give you a championship if I don't have control over whether or not we win championships? I can't do it. So hopefully it's better, right? But I do think it's a lot to be said that even in this organization, even in his time with the Hornets, we saw my man really hold on to his own ideals of himself, right? I feel like I can do more in every one of these games. I feel like there's another level that we can take it. I just need them to believe in me and give me the opportunity to do that. And I think that's what I like about LaMelo, is that he's somebody who can operate within that team, but is always looking to make sure he maintains who he is. And if he brings the best version of himself to that table, he feels like the entire situation will be better. Shemaine, man, AB the Hero, we getting up out of here. Peace.
No, not peace. +1, triple B's. We out.